My great American journey is in full swing, and in this part of the craziest trip in the history of the channel, there will be a lot of natural beauty. And I know for a fact that there is never too much of it. Hello everyone, this is Yang Buyan, and I've made my way to the southwest of the US to explore the major attractions of 3 states at once: Utah, Arizona and Nevada. To help me do this, my 4-wheeled friend, who with my Instagram followers we decided to name Tank. Let's go, shall we? Gigantic abyss that makes you dizzy. What bizarre shapes nature can create. And a stretch of road painfully familiar to people all over the world. This is where Forrest Gump stopped after his long run. What else can the southwestern Union States of America surprise you with? Snow? Is it snow outside? Who profits from alien beings here and how? Let's say a t-shirt like this costs $24.99. And how dangerous is the journey through Death's Valley? This is where the highest temperatures have been recorded. I'll travel thousands of miles to show you everything that gives you thrills and goosebumps. I traveled to this part of the United States 2 years ago. Even then I wanted to go back to the Grand Canyon again, to admire the beauty that opens up from its height. Today, I am one step away from my dream, but the way to the canyon is no less interesting, especially if you drive. I still can't get used to the miles on the speedometer and the Fahrenheit on the thermometer. Well, what you get used to quickly is good roads, because it's really comfortable to drive here. It's a rental car, it's roomy. Isn't it a tank, actually? By the way, I travel through the US the way the majority of Americans do. Americans just love big cars and road trips. On the motorway, you can often come across a caravan towing a trailer with a car. And it can even have a boat on top as well. And that's how they drive all over the states. We're still going through California. How can you not stop at the world-famous fast food chain Very First Restaurant? Did you get what I'm talking about?
Watch for me on TV. We'll have lots of fun. A McDonald's drive-in restaurant is his favorite place in town.
I think everyone has had a McDonald's burger at least once in their life. Come on, admit it, you have. This is where it all started. In 1940, 2 brothers, Richard and Maurice McDonald, opened a restaurant called McDonald's Famous Barbecue, and that offered its customers about 40 different types of fried meat. The huge success, as usual, didn't come overnight. But after a few years, the brothers realized that their main income came from selling hamburgers. So they closed down the restaurant and completely remodeled the interior. As a result, several types of burgers, orange juice and crisps appeared on the menu. A year later, fries also arrived. And with this modest menu and fast conveyor service, the price of a burger was reduced to 15 cents. And that was half the price of the competitors.
When you're finally done, call me up, sweet mama, we'll run.
We won't discuss controversial points about the quality of the food now. Dozens of documentaries and investigations have been made about it. But the entrepreneurial talent of McDonald's founders is admirable. Today, there are almost 40,000 restaurants worldwide under the brand with a capital M. McDonald's was the first in the world to embrace a completely new fast food concept, based on fast service, low prices and high sales volumes. But it was Ray Kroc, a milkshake mixer salesman, who helped bring McDonald's to the kind of success it is today. In fact, it's a very interesting story and I can't tell in a nutshell. So if you're interested, you can watch the founder, for example.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order? Yeah, give me a hamburger and french fries and a Coca-Cola. That'd be 35 cents, please. Great. Here you are. What's this? Your food. No. I just ordered. And now it's here. Where the, silverware and the plates and everything. You just eat it straight out of the wrapper and then throw it all out.
By the way, after watching this film, I'm still asking myself, which is more important, the idea or the execution? What do you think? Write in the comments. However, the feeling that I'm in some kind of Western film never leaves me for a moment. You can't imagine how quickly the landscape changes when you're driving. Just 10 minutes ago, there were palm trees, green meadows, and now it's a proper desert, and it's unbelievably beautiful. On the way, I saw an unusual brightly colored monument with a cross on it. It turned out to be an artificial mound called Salvation Mountain. The inscription on it reads, "God is love."
I've been running from myself so long. I've been running from my heart. Things have never been the same since you.
This is a man-made mountain. It was studied back in 1985 by a local resident, Leonard Knight. He used ordinary bricks and straw and painted it richly, trying to make it as bright as possible. Ned wanted to share his love of God with everyone. Here he wrote Christian sayings and quotes from the Bible. And by the way, the mountain continues to be improved to this day. It has become a kind of local landmark. A couple of hours later, we enter Nevada. Some background information about Nevada. The state used to be a part of Spanish colony in North America. So it's not surprising that the name Nevada comes from the Spanish word of snowy. The state capital is Carson City, and the largest and most famous city is, of course, Las Vegas. The next video is about Las Vegas, don't miss it. In the meantime, let's pop over to a place that just a few years ago made noise around the world. The state of Nevada is home to probably one of the most secret places in the world. US military base Area 51. You've probably heard of it. The secrecy of the base, whose very existence was only officially recognized by the US government in 2013, has made it the subject of numerous conspiracy theories, especially about unidentified flying objects and aliens. So it's no surprise that not far from the base you'll find this shop. It's a shop where almost everything is dedicated to the residents of distant planets. If you're interested in t-shirts like that, this is the place. It's a very peculiarly designed shop. Well, basically, besides such paraphernalia that says everything about UFOs and Area 51, you can buy food here. As usual, the more popular the place, the higher the prices. For instance, a t-shirt like this costs $24.99. However, Americans learned a long time ago how to make money on everything. And this shop is here after a well-planned, though frivolous, campaign. 2 years ago, a certain Matthew Roberts from California organized a Facebook event called Storm Area 51. Its aim was to find out the truth about the aliens and free them so that they would no longer be experimented on. And despite the clearly humorous nature of the event, it attracted over 3 million people. It was even supported by many celebrities such as Keanu Reeves, Elon Musk, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and even Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny. On September the 20th, 2019, around 4,000 people turned up to the event in the vicinity of the base. But few attempted to get inside, only 75 people gathered in the base gate. And of those, a couple were arrested. I just read that one of them had already started making a dig, and eventually the flash mob turned into an impromptu festival, but the aliens were never released. Flying saucers aren't sold here yet, so I get back in my tank and hit the road.
Got the horses in the bag, horse stock is a tag, riding on a horse, you can whip.
The good thing about American roads, there is a chance to see many interesting things on the way from point A to point B. I drove past the Algodones dunes. It's a small desert, 70 kilometers long and almost 10 kilometers wide. Almost 150 years ago, these places were impassable, and it was impossible to reach Mexico by road. They even decided to build a railway bypassing the dunes. But as always, a brave man came along, Colonel Ed Fletcher, who decided to prove that the dunes were passable. He built a board road and connected San Diego with Arizona. Sometime later, this but highly improved road became part of Interstate 8. At the Nevada-Arizona border, I stop at another US pride. And there it is, the engineering icon of the country. This dam, one of the 7 wonders of American engineering, and the tallest dam in the Western Hemisphere. The dam is named after the 31st President of the US, Herbert Hoover. This grandiose structure was under construction for more than 10 years, and at one time was the largest dam in the world. And by the way, it is thanks to it that Los Angeles, Las Vegas and Phoenix receive drinking water from the Colorado River. The size of the dam is impressive. It is 221 meters high and weighs almost 7 million tons. And the decorative towers add to its beauty. Incidentally, it was during the construction of this dam that the builders first started wearing helmets. The construction of this engineering marvel was rather dangerous and was accompanied by many difficulties. However, Arizona, where I traveled into, also has many natural beauties. This American state is filled with natural wonders, which people come to see from all over the world. Desert mountains, canyons, waterfalls, lakes, all of this in one state. Wow! Hello, Arizona! The symbol of Arizona is a giant cactus, and I finally made it to the park where these wonderful cacti are in great numbers. Oh, I've wanted to go to Saguaro National Park in southern Arizona for a while. It's famous for having over 50 species of cacti planted here. Well, you say cacti and cacti, what's the oomph? Well, how about this one? I think it's the perfect photo for Instagram. Canigea. That's the scientific name of this cacti. They grow in the Sonoran Desert. It's the largest and hottest desert in North America. Its size varies in different sources from 260 to 350 square kilometers. As you can imagine, it's a very large area. And it's dotted with cacti. No two cacti are the same shape. It's like they're frozen in different positions in their cactus dance. What a fantastic place! The only thing is that it's very hot here, very hot. And even in October, you won't surprise anyone with 40 degrees Celsius. And where it's hot, expect to meet a scorpion or a snake. Doubtful pleasure, so it's time to hit the road. On the horizon looms a real oasis in the desert lands, the city of Sedona. I think this is definitely the place to stop. Sedona is a small town in Arizona surrounded by red rock formations, a canyon with steep walls and pine forests. It is famous for its mild climate and art galleries. Sedona is the heart of Arizona, and there is even a saying, God created the Grand Canyon, but he lives in Sedona. The city stands on the very edge of the Colorado Plateau, and it perfectly fits with the surrounding nature. That's why architects like to work here, creating buildings that seem to melt into their surroundings. A Roman Catholic church built into red rocks towers over the city of Sedona, and it's one of Arizona's 7 man-made wonders, and as you can see, very popular. It was the dream of devout Christian Margaret Stauder to build this church. The search for the ideal place lasted 20 years, and it began in 1932. By the end of the 50s, the church was completed. It received the highest award of the Institute of American Architects. It's a very atmospheric and unusual place indeed, so it's very popular. More than 4 million people come here every year. And I'm back on the road to the Grand Canyon. But I'm taking a little detour, first popping down to the Monument Valley, which is in the Navajo Reservation. It's not close, but I'm certain it's worthwhile. More than 20 films were shot here. Forrest Gump, Wild Wild West, The Lone Ranger, Transformers. Until the end of the 19th century, the Valley of Monuments was only enjoyed by the Navajo natives. It's a fascinating combination of Martian scenery and cultural monuments, seemingly created by the hand of man. Looking at these monuments, they are reminiscent of depleted ancient castles, houses and temples. You cannot get close to the monuments because the natives guard their territories very carefully, and there is a barbed wire fence around the perimeter. Back to the tank. There is another unusual monument ahead. We're approaching San Juan County, and over there you can see Utah's famous landmark, Mexican Hat Rock. It's a sombrero-like rock that balances on top of a hill. Now we're going to stop and take a closer look at it. Just look at it. How did nature create this miracle? The monument is 90 meters high, like a 30-story skyscraper. And just imagine, people were climbing up this hat. The official ascent took place in 1962. But when the climbers got to the top, they found evidence that people had been there before. Who and when was the first person to climb the peak remains a mystery. It's a shame that these majestic structures of nature can only be admired from a distance, from a car window, even on the run. Perhaps that's how they look most majestic, though. Forrest Gump would agree with me.
I had run for 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours.
Quiet, he's gonna say something.
I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now.
This is where Forrest Gump stopped after his long run of 3 years, 2 months, 14 days and 16 hours. And now it's called Forrest Gump Point. Forrest has stopped, but I don't plan to yet, and rush on down America's beautiful roads. After all, the Grand Canyon is ahead. Americans say that everyone should visit Utah at least once in their lifetime. And you know, I agree with them. I wanted to connect with nature as much as possible. That's why I chose a very original accommodation for myself. If you think it's a tent, you're wrong. I booked a trailer in the desert to look up at the starry sky. When I got here, it wasn't there. But I knew it was the same place because I'd been here 2 years ago. And literally 3 to 5 minutes later, a man arrives and brings the house. Here, they're installing it now.
Sunflowers, high grass, and bare feet. Oh, would you each second is a dream.
There was a surprise waiting for me in the morning, more likely to be seen in Russia than in the hot American state. Snow? Is it snow outside? I thought it was always warm in Arizona. The weather, of course, changes very quickly. The scenery here changes very quickly. We were just driving through the steppe, and among the red mountains, now the forest with snow. And the temperature, I don't know. Just the other day it was 20 degrees Celsius. And now it is insanely cold. Okay, snow for snow, but the best part is the sun and clear skies. Beautiful. I love the road to Grand Canyon. It's very scenic and varied. Look, the deer are running. Deer crossing the road. I didn't expect to see neither snow nor deer. Also, you know what? There are yellow birch trees here. It's so nice. Where did they come from? The snow underfoot, that's alright. But there are blizzards here worse than in Russia. We've come here to freeze. At last, here it is, the long-awaited rendezvous. This canyon is breathtaking. They call it the Grand for a reason. As you can see, I'm in the Grand Canyon. Look at these bizarre shapes created by the streams of the Colorado River. It took thousands, maybe millions of years to create. It's hard to find the words when you see this beauty. Four million people from all over the world travel here every year to see this stunning landscape. It's hard to believe that once this was a flat plateau, and nature has been creating this miracle for thousands of years. The canyon is 2 kilometers deep and 450 kilometers long. It's about the same distance as from Moscow to Nizhny Novgorod. Can you imagine how big it is? By the way, I read that this place is very popular with newlyweds. They come here for photo shoots. No one is wearing a white dress today because it's already blindingly white here. What a view! Snow! Well, we should play snowballs then. The amazing thing is that the temperature outside is now about 3 degrees Celsius. It's not hot, but it's not exactly cold either. It's safe to be out in the sun in a jumper. I never thought I would need ski boots in the Grand Canyon. There are some people here with ski poles, and frankly, I'm a little jealous of them. Still, it was unforgettable. But there is another very unusual canyon waiting for me. Let's go. The scenery changes very, very quickly. It's only been 30 minutes at the most. 30 minutes had passed since I'd left the Grand Canyon. And before that, there were all these snowy forests. And here, there you go, it's proper Mars. And if it's all Mars, then Antelope Canyon is its best place. You can only get into Antelope Canyon if you're accompanied by a Navajo native. It used to be that you arrived at a certain point, they put you in jeeps and drive the whole crowd around. Now, much to my surprise, the rules have changed. You get there, they give you a piece of paper saying you're going on a tour at 10 o'clock, and you go in your own car. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you. There is a line of cars lined up, and we're all going to Antelope Canyon. The canyon is in the reservation. By the way, the Navajo tribe reservation is the largest. It's about the size of the state of West Virginia. The rules that are now in place: you cannot take your mask off at all, even if you're taking a picture. You have to wear a mask at all times. Recommendation: when you choose a time to visit the canyon, it should probably be during the day, because now there is no sun and the canyon looks a little grey. The red-orange mesmerizing curves of this canyon resemble the skin of an antelope. This is where the name of this natural wonder comes from. Once inside, you forget you're on Earth. It feels like a completely different planet. I actually really wanted to take a picture in my dress. I even bought a special one to look contrasting here. But the weather got really bad, so I wore 2 sweatshirts to keep warm, and my photo shoot waved goodbye to me. There is an upper and lower canyon. There are different rules for each. As it's not my first time here, I've gathered my own tips. Take note: it's always best to go to these canyons first or last, to have time to take pictures. As you can see, there are a lot of people here, although there are even more in other canyons. That's why I chose the one called Antelope Canyon X. What quirky shapes can nature create after all? Incredible. And this isn't the last canyon I will show you today. You must see another natural perfection, the beauty of which no words can describe. Here it is, the famous canyon called Horseshoe Bend, or you could simply call it a horseshoe. Meander is the scientific name for this bend. The Colorado River created it by making a symmetrical channel. I'd like to point out that the river has done a lot of work on the local beauty. Oh, it's so high up! You don't want to fall, of course. There are a lot of canyons in this area, and they're completely different. Antelope, Horseshoe, Grand Canyon. I don't even know which one is better. You can write in the comments which one you like the most. Or maybe you have your personal favorite. The journey through the western states of the USA is coming to an end. On the way back, my hotel is in California. I can't help but stop at another symbol of America. We enter Death Valley. Doesn't that sound creepy? It's one of the largest national parks in the United States of America. It's officially in California, but it's on the Nevada border. So naturally, I must show it to you. This place was named Death Valley back in 1849 during the gold rush, when the settlers on their way to California decided to take a shortcut and went into this valley. But as you can imagine, not everyone made it to the end. By the way, Death Valley is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records. It was here that the highest temperature was recorded. On the 10th of July 1913, the temperature reached 56.7 degrees Celsius. Can you imagine just how hot it was here? And literally 5 hours away there is snow in the Grand Canyon. I'm awestruck. So in addition to the 3 states, Arizona, Utah and Nevada, that I had planned to drive through, California was also added to the mix. As a result, I covered as much as 5,000 kilometers in this tank. And almost every one of them revealed some breathtaking beauty. That's the beauty of nature, and of course, that's not all. I have no idea how long it would take to get round all the national parks and canyons, but it's time to move on. This was Yang Buyan channel. Follow, like, and make sure to comment. And click the bell so that you don't miss the next video. Well, I'm off to Las Vegas. See you there.